You were not born to hide from the fire. You were born to walk through it, to emerge, not burned, but forged. Every time you avoid pain, you reject your own becoming. You deny the very crucible that was designed to purify your power. Because power isn't given, it's earned in the storm, in the silence, and in the sacrifice. The world will tell you, chase pleasure, escape discomfort, numb the struggle. But that world is built for the average. An average is a life lived in retreat, a life afraid to bleed for something greater. But the great ones, those who built legacies, shifted nations, and defied all odds, they weren't running from pain, they ran toward it. Abraham Lincoln stood in the darkness of self-doubt, failure, and grief, but he stayed. Winston Churchill stared down the collapse of a nation, but he stayed. Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times, but he stayed. Pain was not their prison, it was their proving ground. You think pain is the enemy, but what if it's the teacher? What if the thing you're avoiding is the only thing that can set you free? Your dreams demand pain, not the pain of pointless suffering, but the sacred pain of transformation. Because the version of you that has what you want is not the same version standing here now. That version has been stripped of excuses, healed by fire, tempered by rejection, refined by relentless practice. It's in the rejection letter, in the early mornings where no one claps, in the gym when no one sees, in the fifth failed business, in the heartbreak that splits you in half. That's where your new life is trying to be born. And what do most people do when that pain comes? They numb it, scroll past it, drink it away, sleep it off, lie to themselves that it's not their fault. But those are the exact moments when a lion is carved from the lamb. Every great figure in history was defined not by their talent, but by their relationship with pain. There's a quote often attributed to Napoleon Hill: "Every adversity carries with it the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit." But here's the catch: you must claim it. That seed only grows when planted in the soil of persistence, watered by sweat, and exposed to the brutal light of truth. Avoid the pain, and you avoid the seed. Avoid the seed, and you avoid the life that was waiting for you on the other side. Pain isn't here to punish you. It's here to point you. It's the compass toward the thing you must confront. It's the alarm clock waking you from the fantasy of comfort. Discipline hurts. Failure stings. Truth humbles. But mediocrity is death in disguise. A quiet decay masked as ease. If you don't face your pain, it will find you anyway. It'll show up in broken dreams, missed moments, wasted years. It'll whisper, "You could have been more." It'll remind you that comfort is a liar dressed in silk. The man who avoids pain is building a prison out of soft walls. But the man who confronts pain, who uses it, who lets it stretch and sharpen him, that man is unstoppable. Because once you've wrestled with pain and made it your ally, what else can break you? What criticism? What failure? What setback? Pain becomes your armor.
You want confidence? It's not found in affirmations. It's forged in the arena. Confidence is earned by the man who dares to bleed for his vision, who doesn't just talk about dreams, but risks being broken in the pursuit of them. You think Henry Ford was praised when he tried to defy the world with a horseless carriage? He was mocked, laughed at, ridiculed. But he didn't shrink, because the pain of being misunderstood was nothing compared to the pain of dying with his vision still inside him. You've got to stop seeking a life that doesn't challenge you. You've got to stop praying for ease and start preparing for resistance, because the resistance is what builds you. A plane needs wind to take off. A sword needs heat and hammering to become sharp. And a man needs hardship to become unstoppable. Do not envy the man who has a smooth life. Envy the man who has scars and still walks forward. He has earned himself. Most people are stuck because they're addicted to comfort. They think, I'll chase my goals once the timing is right, once I feel motivated, once life calms down. But life never calms down. The timing is never perfect, and motivation is a coward. It leaves when pain arrives. Discipline stays. Conviction stays. Vision stays. Those are the soldiers of transformation. You are not tired. You are not stuck. You are untested. You haven't reached your limits. You've reached your resistance. And instead of breaking through it, you've been taught to back away. That ends now. Pain is the toll gate between the man you are and the man you're meant to become. You can't sneak around it. You can't bargain with it. You pay in full, with effort, time, and sacrifice. Every drop of sweat, every lonely night, every broken plan that forces you to rebuild again, it's not the enemy. It's the tuition fee for greatness. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination. He built an empire out of what the world called failure. He walked into bankruptcy, into breakdowns, but he didn't walk away because the dream meant more than the pain. Ask yourself, what means more to you than comfort? If your answer is nothing, then your life will reflect it. But if your answer is growth, freedom, legacy, then your life begins the moment you stop running from the burn. You think champions are made when the lights are on? No, they are made when no one is watching, when they're up at 5 a.m. while the world sleeps, when they show up even after the world tells them to stop, when they choose discipline over dopamine. They suffer with purpose, and that kind of suffering becomes sacred. Because they know something you've forgotten. There is power in pain. Not all pain is your enemy. The right kind of pain is your evolution. It's the push that forces you to rise. It's the darkness that forces you to create your own light. Don't ask, how can I avoid the pain? Ask, what is it trying to teach me? That lesson will be your breakthrough. That lesson will be your edge. That lesson will be the voice inside you when the world is silent.
You weren't born just to survive. You were born to build, to shape your world with your mind, your will, and your hands. But building something real, something meaningful, always costs more than people are willing to pay. That's why most choose the easy path. But the easy path never leads to a meaningful destination. It only loops, day after day, until you wake up one morning in a life that doesn't resemble the fire that once burned in your chest. That fire, that purpose, it's still there, but it's buried under years of avoiding the pain of becoming who you were designed to be. You see, purpose is pain with direction. It's pain you decide to carry, on your terms, for a reason bigger than comfort. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't ask to suffer, but he chose to carry the weight of a vision that required suffering. He walked willingly into danger, ridicule, and fear because his purpose made the pain worth it. And when pain becomes purposeful, it becomes powerful. The weak ask, why me? The strong ask, why not me? Your pain is not a punishment. It is a signal, a sacred whisper from the part of you that remembers why you're here. It's not telling you to quit. It's telling you to listen. Because the pain is pointing to the very area of your life that's demanding transformation. The relationship you're tolerating instead of confronting. The job that's draining your spirit because you're afraid to leap. The goals you keep pushing to next year because chasing them means being seen, failing, judged. That's where your power is hiding. The place you least want to go is the place you most need to enter. There is no growth without exposure, no strength without struggle, no glory without grind. You must allow yourself to be uncomfortable. You must stand in the storm long enough to learn how to dance in the rain. You are not the voice that doubts you. You are the one hearing that voice, strong enough to keep walking anyway. Pain tells you where to focus, where to grow, where to rise. If your dream doesn't scare you, if your goal doesn't stretch you, if your pursuit doesn't cost you, then you're not chasing something great. You're chasing safety. And safety kills more dreams than failure ever will. Ask the world changers, the inventors, the revolutionaries. Ask them what they remember most from the journey. It's not the applause. It's not the wealth. It's the climb, the pain, the moments they almost gave up, but didn't. That's where self-respect is built. That's where identity is forged. Because the man who chooses his pain chooses his destiny, but the man who avoids it becomes a stranger to himself. You are being called, not gently, not politely, but loudly, by the tension, by the pressure, by the burning in your gut that says, this isn't all there is. Don't run from that voice. Let it hurt. Let it break you open. Let it turn you into the man the world said you couldn't be. Because the pain you avoid is not just the door to power, it is the invitation to become legendary.
Belief is not soft. Belief is not a wish. Belief is war. It's the fire you must relight every single day when doubt tries to choke the flame. And here's the truth. The pain you're avoiding right now is the test of your belief. You say you want it. You say you're committed. You say you're all in. Then life brings the storm. The setbacks, the delays, the rejections, and you flinch. You pull back. You wait for it to pass. But belief doesn't wait. Belief charges forward through the rain, the fear, the unknown, because belief doesn't live in conditions. It lives in decision. Napoleon Hill said it best. Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But you'll never achieve what you don't believe you deserve. And you'll never believe you deserve it if you don't endure the pain that shapes you into the man who earns it. Belief without action is fantasy. Belief with discipline? That's the formula for power. Discipline is the pain you choose now to avoid the pain of regret forever. Every day you show up for your mission, even when it's dark, even when it's silent, even when it hurts, you're casting a vote for who you will become. You don't rise when it's easy. You rise when you keep walking through what breaks most people. Discipline is not about motivation. It's about identity. You don't brush your teeth because you're motivated. You do it because it's who you are. The same must be true for your vision. Train your identity to match your destiny. If you want to become powerful, start by keeping promises to yourself, no matter how small, no matter how tired, no matter how inconvenient. Because the man who builds self-trust becomes unshakable, and self-trust is built in the trenches where no one is watching, but everything is being decided. Now let's talk about vision. Without it, you're just surviving, reacting, drifting. Vision is pain turned into purpose. It's the clear picture of the life you refuse to die without living. Do you have one? Can you see it? Can you describe it in detail? How it smells, feels, moves? Most people can't. That's why they quit when it gets hard, because you will not suffer for something you cannot clearly imagine. You think Walt Disney built an empire just for fun? No. He built it because he saw something no one else could, and he refused to let pain steal that picture from him. Vision is your fuel when your tank is empty. It's the internal movie that keeps you climbing when every limb is shaking. It's what makes the pain worth it. The pain you avoid is the test of your belief. The pain you embrace is the birth of your discipline. And the pain you endure is the bridge to your vision. This is not about some magical mindset trick. This is not about pretending everything is fine. This is about walking into the fire on purpose, with your fists clenched and your eyes wide open. Because if you run from pain, it will run your life. But if you stand in it, if you use it, if you own it, you will become something unrecognizable to your former self. Unstoppable, unbreakable, unforgettable.
Resilience is not the absence of pain. It is the decision to stand because of it. To take the hit and rise anyway. You don't get resilience from winning. You get it from failing and choosing to continue. Life will break you. It will test your patience, your dreams, your loyalty to your vision. It will ask again and again, do you really want this? And if you say yes, it will demand proof in hours, in sweat, in tears, in silence, in the moments when no one is clapping, no one is watching, and no one is coming to save you. That is where resilience is born. Not in noise, but in the quiet, invisible choices. Thomas Edison said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." He was not speaking from theory. He was speaking from fire. Because pain is the furnace of greatness, and resilience is the shape of a soul that refuses to stay down. But here's what separates the truly powerful. They don't just endure pain, they transform it. They don't stay angry, they don't stay bitter. They alchemize the wound into wisdom, the failure into fuel, the loss into leverage. That alchemy? It begins with gratitude. Not the surface level kind, not just being thankful for the good things. Real gratitude is this: thank you for the pain, because without it, I'd still be asleep. It's easy to be grateful for comfort, but champions are grateful for the pain that revealed their power. Every sleepless night, every betrayal, every closed door, every heartbreak, every rock bottom. Those were the gifts that broke your ego and introduced you to your real self. Because in pain, there are no masks, no pretending, only truth. And that truth becomes the foundation for everything unshakable. You don't find your highest self in celebration. You find it in crisis. When there's no applause, no answers, just you and the choice to keep moving. So move, with broken bones if you must, with a trembling voice if you must, with no map, no applause, no backup plan, if you must. But move, because pain didn't come to bury you, it came to reveal you, to peel away the layers of fear, pride, weakness, and show you the God force within. The force that doesn't beg for power, it becomes power.
This is where everything changes. Not out there, in here, in the stillness between heartbeats. In the sacred moment you decide, no more running, no more negotiating with fear, no more hiding behind potential, no more numbing the voice that says you were meant for more. Because now you know, the pain was never there to destroy you. It was there to awaken you, to test your readiness, to strip away who you thought you were, and introduce you to who you actually are. That version of you, he doesn't wait. He doesn't explain. He doesn't ask permission. He moves like a force of nature because he's been through it. He's seen what it costs to rise, and he paid it in full. You see, power isn't something you chase. It's something you embody. It's earned in pain, anchored in discipline, fueled by vision, and solidified through relentless action. You're not here to survive life. You're here to bend it, shape it, command it. But only if you stop retreating every time it hurts. Only if you start listening to the pain instead of running from it. Because it's trying to show you the door to strength, to courage, to greatness, the door to power. And that door, it doesn't open for the timid. It opens for the one who's willing to walk through hell and keep walking. You are no longer a slave to your fears. You are no longer waiting for someone to save you. You are no longer waiting for life to feel good before you decide to act. You are the action. You are the fire. You are the storm. And no matter how far you've fallen, hear me, you are not broken. You are becoming. So rise. Bleeding, scarred, tired, rise anyway. Because the pain you've avoided was never the enemy. It was the initiation. It was the price of admission into your highest self. And you're not just ready to pay it now, you're grateful for it. Because now you know
The pain you avoid is the door to power. And you've just walked through it. Welcome to the other side.